Godfather was going to be a good film. I'd always wanted to work with Marlon, but I was asked to play the lead in it.
He doesn't flatter. He doesn't follow. Jack Nicholson just knows, then decides. And once he decides, it stays decided.
And you'd be amazed at how many actors look at their watch to see what time it is, and they don't see what time it is.
For over half a century, Nicholson has redefined what it means to lead a film, rewriting the rules with every role, breaking them with every glance. But beyond the madness, beyond the genius, is something rarer. His ability to recognize greatness, the actor who gets it, the rhythm that matches his own, the presence that doesn't blink. He doesn't act beside noise, he acts beside gravity. Chinatown, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Shining, A Few Good Men. Jack Nicholson's legacy is made of performances you can't forget, but at the heart of each one is a co-star who met him eye to eye. He doesn't just respect talent, he remembers the ones who shaped him.
Ready, salt?
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
Come on, you... Oh.
And when that happens, when someone earns Jack's trust, his real trust, the performance disappears. What's left is something closer to truth.
Sandy Bressler, my pal and comrade in arms. I love you, Bress.
He's worked with everyone, but only a few made it past the screen and into something deeper. The ones who gave him everything and somehow got even more back. Here are the 6 actors Jack Nicholson holds above all the rest, above the noise, above the game, and why no one else ever took their place. Number 1. Robert De Niro. Some actors impress. Robert De Niro intimidates, in the best way. For Jack Nicholson, De Niro isn't just one of the greats. He's a mirror, a fellow craftsman, a quiet volcano. Nicholson once called him an actor who says more with silence than others say with monologues. They were never regular collaborators, but they didn't need to be. Nicholson watched De Niro rise through Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, and Raging Bull, each time vanishing into someone else, and yet always, unmistakably, De Niro.
What does that mean? Don't
Yeah,
mean
but
nothing.
even you don't even know what you meant by you.
Don't mean nothing.
Joey, that meant something.
Nicholson once joked, "You don't act with De Niro. You hold on and hope the moment doesn't swallow you." But there's admiration underneath that humor. Real admiration. Because Jack doesn't praise easily, but he respects discipline, obsession, stillness. And De Niro. He's the blueprint. Their only real on-screen moment came in The Departed, indirectly. De Niro turned down the role of Frank Costello. Nicholson stepped in, and what followed was one of Jack's most unhinged, unpredictable performances. But ask around, the shadow of De Niro was always in the room. Nicholson has said, "I've seen De Niro on sets, and it's like everyone else gets quieter, like gravity walked in." De Niro doesn't chase the camera, he lets it come to him, just like Jack. For Nicholson, De Niro represents a kind of acting that can't be taught. It's internal, it's lived in, it's dangerous, and it's unforgettable. Number 2, Al Pacino. If Robert De Niro is a storm waiting to break, Al Pacino is the fire already burning. To Jack Nicholson, Pacino has never been subtle, and that's exactly why he loves him. Their chemistry is forged not in co-starring roles, but in legacy. 2 titans who rose at the same time, watching each other redefine what acting could be in the 1970s. Jack once said, "Al doesn't play characters, he erupts into them." Nicholson respected that, still does, because Pacino never took the easy path. From The Godfather to Dog Day Afternoon, Pacino chose roles that broke something open, inside him, inside us. And he made no apologies.
I don't want to talk to somebody who's trying to calm me. Get somebody in charge here.
I am in charge.
I don't want
here.
to talk to some flunky pig trying to calm me, man.
You don't have to be calling.
What's he doing?
Jack admired his guts, his unpredictability, the way he could turn a whisper into a war cry, the way he walked into every scene like it was life or death. On a panel in the early 2000s, Nicholson said, "Al has one of the greatest faces in film. You see every thought happen on it, like lightning under skin." They were never cast as brothers, but in energy, in ambition, they might as well have been. Jack calls him a coiled wire with poetry in it.
Fredo, you're my older brother.
Pacino doesn't always hit clean. That's the point. His performances bruise, but for Nicholson, that's what makes them linger. Jack doesn't like pretty acting. He likes it rough, unpredictable, alive, and with Al Pacino, he got exactly that. Number 3. Dustin Hoffman. Some actors enter the frame. Dustin Hoffman fractures it, then builds something truer in its place. For Jack Nicholson, Hoffman wasn't just a peer, he was a proof of concept. That great acting didn't have to be handsome, or loud, or smooth. It could be nervous, wounded, sharp-edged, and trembling with life. Jack once said, "Dustin doesn't act like anyone else. He acts like he can't afford to lie." Their careers grew up side by side. Hoffman in The Graduate, Jack in Easy Rider. Two outliers forcing their way into the spotlight, not with swagger, but with truth, and they respected each other for it.
But I don't think that's the issue here. If I understand it correctly,
Nicholson admired Hoffman's fearlessness, the way he made discomfort cinematic, the way he stripped himself of vanity and gave you everything, even when it wasn't pretty. At a round table in the late 80s, Nicholson joked, "Dustin's the guy who'd rehearse the word hello 200 times until it sounded like it had a childhood." But underneath the humor was awe, because Hoffman didn't play roles, he dissected them, lived inside them, then handed the audience something bleeding. Jack saw that as sacred.
He turned on the TV, sat down on the bed, and flicked the channel changer several times.
They never shared the screen, but the reverence was mutual. Two actors from the same fire, different flames, same heat. For Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman wasn't just one of the greats. He was one of the first who proved greatness didn't have to look heroic. It just had to be real. Number 4. Paul Newman. Some actors lead with their voice. Paul Newman led with silence. For Jack Nicholson, Newman wasn't just a movie star. He was the kind of man who made you believe in restraint. In a business of explosions, Newman was a slow burn, focused, steady, unshakably cool. Jack once said, "Paul didn't act like a movie star, and that's why he stayed one for 50 years. They crossed paths in the same era, circled the same directors, and represented two very different shades of charisma. Jack was fire, Newman was ice, but the mutual respect ran deep. Nicholson admired the way Newman worked, quietly, without ego, without fuss. He never chased the moment. He let it come to him, and when it did, he nailed it, every time. In a 1990s interview, Jack recalled watching The Hustler in theaters and thinking, he's doing almost nothing, and it's absolutely everything. Jack never needed flash, he needed honesty, and Newman gave that in spades. Off-screen, it was the same. Nicholson respected Newman's refusal to be swallowed by Hollywood. He raced cars, gave away millions, stayed married. Jack once said Newman was the guy you wanted to be when the cameras weren't rolling. For Nicholson, Paul Newman represented something rare: grace under pressure. Power without noise. He wasn't just a favorite. He was a reminder of how great acting and great men should carry themselves. Number 5. Marlon Brando. Some actors act. Marlon Brando changed the very definition of it. To Jack Nicholson, Brando wasn't just a hero, he was a storm system, a force of nature that rewrote what screen presence meant. Vulnerable, dangerous, beautiful, and broken. They weren't just peers, they were neighbors, literal ones, living on Mulholland Drive yards apart, sharing fences and sometimes feuds. But behind it all, a deep, reverent respect. Jack once said, Marlon made the rest of us rethink what we were doing. Every role he touched, he redefined it.
Especially when you've been exercising hard like Ball is. Well, you're the teacher, aren't you?
Yes.
They finally shared the screen in the Missouri Breaks, 1976. The shoot was chaos. Brando improvised wildly, changed lines, changed blocking, sometimes vanished into the desert. Nicholson called it the most unpredictable job of my life. And still, he never blinked, because that was Brando, untamed, unapologetic, and, in Jack's words, worth every damn headache.
But it just ain't in the cards, Angel.
What Nicholson admired wasn't just Brando's talent, it was the way he held power without needing to perform it. He could mutter a line and shift the ground beneath you. Brando didn't care if you liked him. He only cared if it was real. And that for Nicholson was everything. Jack has said Brando was the one who cracked it all open. Method, stillness, rebellion, humanity. For Nicholson, Brando wasn't just an actor. He was the origin point. Number 6. Gene Hackman. He never chased the spotlight, but somehow it always found him. To Jack Nicholson, Gene Hackman was the actor who never made it about himself, and yet made everything feel more real just by showing up. They were never rivals, never loud about each other. But in private, Nicholson often put Hackman in a league few others occupied. He once said, Gene didn't try to steal the scene, he just owned it the second he walked in.
First of all, let's be real friendly here, okay? My name is Norm. Secondly, your coaching days are over.
Hackman wasn't Hollywood's favorite dinner guest. He didn't play the fame game. He didn't give charming interviews. He gave performances, honest, bruised, and brilliantly human. Nicholson respected that, deeply. Because Hackman wasn't acting to be loved, he was acting to be true. They crossed paths on the award circuit, sometimes at tables, rarely in front of cameras together. But when asked in the 90s which actor he'd trust with any role, Nicholson didn't hesitate. Gene Hackman. He called him a blue-collar genius, no shine, just truth. For Nicholson, that mattered. No gimmicks, no tricks, just craft, sweat, and instinct. Hackman reminded him of what the job used to be, before agents, before press tours, before brand deals. Just the work. Just the truth. And in a town built on illusion, Jack Nicholson never forgot the rare actors who refused to fake it. Gene Hackman, for him, was one of the last of that kind. Nicholson doesn't talk about favorites. He talks about truth, raw, unpredictable, unforgettable. Sometimes it's one scene, sometimes it's a lifetime. But in every case, these 6 actors gave him more than performance. They gave him something to believe in. In their chaos, he found clarity. In their stillness, he found danger. They didn't just stand beside him, they held their own. He doesn't respect polish, he respects presence. And the ones who gave that to him, he never forgets. Their names may not fill his interviews, but they live in his rhythm, scene by scene, frame by frame. Who's your favorite on the list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more legends, more stories, and more from behind the frame.